Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on KAJ, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Don Fisher. Heavy snowfall is expected in northwest Montana, especially at high elevations like Marias Pass, which could see up to 50 inches of snow. But for more on what you can expect a little closer to home, let's turn it over to meteorologist Russ Thomas with a look at his first forecast. Russ?
Yeah, and thank you, Don. Yeah, we're really going to be focusing on here over the next about 36 hours or so. Is this winter storm warning going to have an effect, and how it's going to impact some of the valleys? Because we're looking at Flathead Valley and saying anywhere from 10 to 15 inches is what the Weather Service has put this warning out for, and I think those numbers could be very accurate out there. Also looking around Polson, 4, 6, 8 inches, maybe even a little bit more than that. And again, kind of this big weather system that's going to move through. You've got the cold air along with that, a lot of moisture overrunning that cold air. We'll have more coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Russ. And with that snow on the way, officials are planning their attack. MTN's Nicole Miller has more on what you can expect to see for road conditions and how the officials are preparing for the dump of snow.
A blast of snow is set to hit northwest Montana and continue through Wednesday morning. And with the wintry weather on the way, that will make for slick roadways. David Prunty, director of Flathead County Public Works, says crews have been getting the roads ready.
We were out this morning and scraped off the slush that was there on most of them today, did some sanding.
Prunty says plow crews will be out at 5:30 in the morning, plowing, sanding, and clearing those roads.
Won't surprise me, we're out at 5:30 every morning this week. We will continue for at least an 8-hour day. A lot of the times on a storm like this, the guys will go for 10 hours a day.
And with a winter storm watch in effect until Thursday, drivers should be prepared for heavy snowfall, sleet, and ice accumulations and poor visibility. If you do feel yourself sliding off the road, Trooper Dave Mills with the Montana Highway Patrol says to steer towards the slide.
If the back end slides to the right, you want to steer that direction. And a lot of times that'll help you regain control.
Drivers should always check the road conditions before traveling and buckle up. Reporting in Flathead County, Nicole Miller, MTN News.
And with the cold weather and extreme amounts of snowfall comes some dangerous conditions in the backcountry, like avalanches. The National Weather Service and the Flathead Avalanche Center has issued a backcountry avalanche watch that runs through Tuesday morning. They say heavy snowfall and strong winds overloading a weak snowpack has created large areas of unstable snow. The warning began Monday morning and runs through 7 a.m. tomorrow, but Tuesday morning, the avalanche danger will raise to high as certain places could see up to 50 inches of snow. Affected areas to watch are the Flathead, Whitefish, and Swan ranges. As a result, travel in avalanche terrain is not recommended and may not be limited to the highlighted areas. An historic Mineral County restaurant and gathering place is no more after it burned down Sunday night. MTN's Augusta McDonald was on the scene at KJ's 9 Mile Steakhouse this morning, where decades of community tradition was lost.
Oh, it's just devastating. This place has been here for so long, and it's just horrible to look at it. It just makes me sick. It's really sad.
Hannah Filer worked at the steakhouse and says the new owners had opened KJ's 9 Mile Steakhouse just over a year ago. The owners were new, but the restaurant certainly was not. The age of the building made fighting this fire difficult. The Frenchtown Fire Department arrived to find it fully involved after it was called in about 10:30 Sunday night.
It's a really old building that's gone through several renovations. So with the age of the building and the renovations, it proved pretty difficult last night. We had 5 water tenders shuttling water through here, but it was going for quite some time before we got here.
Holt says about 30 firefighters worked overnight and into the morning. They had assistance from East Missoula Volunteer Fire and the Missoula Rural Fire Department. The Missoula County Sheriff's Office was also on scene. They closed off Highway 10 for a period of time.
Not only was this restaurant one of the few places locally where you could go to grab a meal, it was also a staple in the community where people gathered to celebrate holidays and special occasions together.
Ray Bennett has lived in the area his whole life.
Place to eat, a gathering place. In fact, me and my wife had our wedding reception in there, as a lot of other folks did here.
Crews spent Monday searching for hot spots and pouring water onto the structure. An excavator was used to dig through parts of the building where it was too hot for crews to enter on foot.
I'm just glad nobody was hurt, that everybody was gone for the evening and that nobody was hurt. I'm really thankful for that. It's a very close-knit community, and if we would have lost anybody, it would have been far more devastating than what we see now.
Reporting from the 9 Mile Valley, I'm Augusta McDonald for MTN News.
And the cause of the fire has not yet been determined. At least 3 people are dead and scores more injured after an Amtrak train derailed in Washington State. CBS News' Chris Martinez is in DuPont near the scene of the crash with more.
At least 3 people were killed Monday when Amtrak train number 501 derailed outside DuPont, Washington. 13 of its 14 cars left the tracks, with some flying off an overpass and down onto busy Interstate 5. Fortunately, no motorists were killed.
Something like this, where train cars are precariously dangling over a freeway, that's something that we do tabletops on, and everybody comes in usually going, oh, that's not going to happen. Well, here we are.
The train left Seattle at 6 this morning, bound for Portland, Oregon.
Amtrak 501, emergency, we are on the ground.
Radio calls from the crew captured the moments following the derailment.
Is everybody okay? I'm still figuring that out. We got cars everywhere and down onto the highway.
7 crew members were aboard the train, along with 77 passengers.
When I stepped out, I didn't really realize I was standing on another train car.
The train was making the inaugural run of a new express line between Portland and Seattle. Some local officials had recently voiced concerns about whether the tracks could handle commuter trains going 80 miles an hour.
I just grabbed onto the chair in front of me for dear life. My laptop went flying, my phone went flying.
Investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board are now on the scene collecting evidence. It could be weeks, even months, before they'll be able to say what caused the derailment. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Seattle.
And once the wrecked train has been stabilized, investigators say that their priority is to recover its data recorder, a device similar to a plane's black box that records information about its speed, throttle, and brake positions. State leaders and outdoor groups gathered in Helena today to kick off a new program to expand access to public land in Montana. Governor Steve Bullock and other speakers celebrated the Montana Public Land Access Network, or MT plan. State Representative Alan Doan of Bloomfield sponsored a bill this year to create the program. It will collect donations that will then be offered as grants to private landholders who enhance access to public land through their own property. The Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation made the first donation, presenting a check for $25,000. Other groups have also announced plans to contribute, and Bullock says Montana has nearly 2 million acres of public lands that are currently inaccessible for recreation.
This network will allow Montanans, each and every one of us, to help further chip away at those 2 million acres and unlock more areas of public lands for all of us to enjoy.
And DNRC leaders say that they could award the first grants through the program in mid-2018. 2 people were taken to the hospital after a stabbing this afternoon in downtown Helena. Helena police were dispatched to the area of North Last Chance Gulch and Neal Avenue just before 2:30 this afternoon. Police say the caller told dispatchers that a man and woman were fighting and the man had a knife. When police arrived, they witnessed 25-year-old Rainbow Cloud Peters going towards the woman and another man with the knife. Officers were able to detain Peters with the help of others nearby.
2 people sustained some injuries that appear to be from the knife. Unknown what those extent of those injuries are. They've both been transported to St. Pete's Hospital. Obviously the case is active and we're investigating it from there.
And Peters was booked into the Lewis and Clark County Jail on charges of attempted homicide, assault with a weapon, resisting arrest, and obstructing a peace officer. Jewish Montanans from across the state came together today for the annual menorah lighting ceremony at the Capitol. The event celebrates Hanukkah, also known as the Festival of Lights. Jewish leaders at the event emphasized how important it is to bring more light into a sometimes dark world. Governor Steve Bullock spoke at the ceremony today and partook in the lighting of the menorah with Jewish community members and families. Brian Schweitzer of the Montana Organization of Jewish Communities said that the event is also a celebration of being able to openly practice their faith in Montana.
It's such a wonderful thing to be able to note it and celebrate it in such a grand place with a capital.
And it is currently the 6th night of Hanukkah, and the holiday ends this Wednesday. Every child in attendance was given a dreidel. And up next, Russ is back with a snowy forecast for the rest of the week. And later, an airport power failure forced cancellation yesterday of nearly 1,200 flights. That's coming up.